Hi, Chandler. Sorry to keep you waiting, doll.
Oh, no, you're good.
I had just a little technical difficulty this morning. Look, we match almost.
Perfect.
How's it going today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, doing fine. It's raining and cold in Texas, and that's unusual lately, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's
Where are
raining
you?
and cold here.
Where are you?
Oregon.
Oh yeah, I bet it's really cold there.
Yeah. It was really icy the last couple days, but it's raining. It's supposed to rain the rest of the week, so it probably won't be as cold.
Wow. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like 50 here, and we're like, ooh, get the parkas out.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I start, so now I know where you live. What's your age, and what kind of work do you do?
I am 26 and I am an advanced esthetician. So I do like laser hair removal, tattoo removal, all kinds of like skin rejuvenation stuff.
Awesome. Love
Yeah.
that. Okay, cool. Just helps me gauge sort of like how stressful is your job? I mean, maybe people who want to get their tattoos removed, maybe that's stressful, like hurting
Uh,
people.
It's not really stressful. It's like pretty chill. I love everyone I work with. It's a pretty like easygoing job.
Okay, good. Tell me
Yeah.
everything. Just start where you're ready. I'm gonna open up a chat bot on the side here. I mean a chat box. If you click that bot that at the bottom, I'm gonna take notes.
Okay.
So anything that I think is you got your report, okay?
Sorry.
No problem. No problem. So you got your report, okay? Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Um, okay, so tell me just what's been going on, and you were able to read through it and watch all the videos
Yeah.
too. The
Yeah.
only reason I asked for that because that dictates whether I need to go backwards and explain stuff that was there. Okay,
Oh no. Yep. I read it all. Yeah.
you go right ahead. Tell now, and also it also helps you to be more informed about what to tell me because
Okay.
you're like, oh, I didn't know that was important. Yeah, like I like drink nail polish all day or whatever.
Yeah. So we are pretty low tox during COVID. I went kind of like down the rabbit hole and my husband came home and everything was in the trash. So
You're
pretty
like,
much the
I
only
got
thing
too
I
much time on
do,
my hands.
yeah. So pretty much the only thing that I do, which I didn't even know, I get my nails done. So that's like the only thing. Um, Basal body temps are really low. I ended up my wellness center where I go. I just started going there earlier this year. After I had my miscarriage, I was like so irritated with all my doctors. They didn't want to do anything. So I got a vaginal ultrasound done, got diagnosed with PCOS, and then they did blood work, and I had thyroid antibodies.
Hmm.
So I got a GI map done, and my like gluten sensitivity was so high it wasn't even on the charts.
Shit.
Yeah. So that was in July. So I've been gluten free since July. I've lost 15 pounds. Yeah.
Doing nothing but just
Yeah.
not
I
eating
just I mean, yeah.
gluten.
Yeah, I was working out. It was irritating. So I was working out pretty regularly. I like walk, I do strength training, and I wasn't losing any weight. And I was like, what is going
At
on?
26, especially. I mean, like I'm
Yeah.
55. I'm like, shit, you cannot lose weight for anything.
Yeah.
Um, Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
and you
And
did
we
that
ate
through
pretty
design,
healthy.
like you did that GI map through Designs for Health.
I did it through I can't remember even who it was through. It was just through my functional health practitioner who I like meet with. Yeah.
Okay, good. And was anything else remarkable?
Nope. Everything else was good. It was literally just like my GI map, and then I did an HTMA test, and like she said, it was pretty common because of my gluten sensitivity. Like my magnesium and potassium, like calcium, was pretty low.
Okay, and you're supplementing with those? Or
Yes.
are you waiting just to see if it bounces back?
Yeah, I have. I've been taking a like trace minerals supplement that she had me taking. I take magnesium. I take so much stuff. I have the conceivable omega. I've been taking NAC, vitamin E. I take the pure inositol. I bounce between a beef organ supplement and my prenatal, and then I
So
think is that
that's the only, I would not advise that.
okay?
Take your beef supplement. A beef supplement cannot be a replacement for a prenatal.
Okay.
Like no, because it just doesn't have the ascent. Like there are about 18 things that should be in a prenatal,
Okay.
and beef liver supplement is good for you. Take it as much as you want in
Okay.
addition to your prenatal.
Okay. Perfect.
Um, and Okay, and so you got diagnosed with PCOS. Did you have any other PCOS symptoms? Except for can't lose weight
My
and
my periods all over the place.
okay,
When I got pregnant in April, like it had been pretty consistent. Like goes like 31 days for like 3 months, and then I'll have like a super long cycle. Like right now, I'm on day like 64.
shit.
It'll go is like super long, and then it's back to like 31 days for like 3 months, and then it's just like it's weird that
Mhm.
it's such a pattern that it's consistent and then just randomly falls off and nothing changes. Like I'm not stressed. It's just odd that all of a sudden it's just like out of order.
Be
So
interesting, like, if we were able to map it over years. This is just the scientist
yeah.
in me because I'm like, I've had people like I had one woman I worked with. She came to me at 41. She had already had like 3 miscarriages.
Mhm.
But she still had like pretty normal AMH and FSH for her age. So I was like, okay, we'll keep trying. Her doctor,
Mhm.
she didn't want to do IVF. And so she got pregnant. She had gotten pregnant twice before in April only and
Mhm.
miscarried. She came to me. I saw her for like 4 months. She got pregnant again in April. She miscarried. That was the third month in a row. A whole year passed. She got pregnant again in April at almost 43 and carried to term.
That's
That was the
wild.
only month she could conceive in. It was just like,
Yeah.
that was, I mean, other than saying like that's some kind of like psychic portal, like I don't even
Yeah.
believe in any of that, but like what else is
Yeah.
it? She was confirmed ovulating, the sperm were good. There was no other reason
Yeah.
why April was the month. So, anyways, these are the kind
Yeah.
of things that I, get pretty excited about.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get some details. So temperatures are really low. What's the average
Yes.
before and after?
It varies. Like I've never gotten over 98 when I ovulate. Last month, the last time I ovulated that it like confirmed it. It got to like 97.9 and that was like the highest I'd ever been.
You're like, I'm doing it.
I know. I was like, thank the Lord. Yeah. Because I do like super good. We don't eat a lot of processed food. All my husband and I eat like a lot of fruits, vegetables, meats. Like that's a lot of our, and then the occasional, like his family's a huge ice cream fanatic. So he eats like ice cream every day. But besides that, we eat like really healthy. So I was so confused. I was like, I feel like I'm doing all the right things and like nothing's improving.
Hmm.
So
Okay, and so when did you stop eating gluten?
early July.
Okay, so months. Okay.
Yeah.
So now in your last period, how many days between, you're on cycle day 61. So in the previous one, so it could range between 30 and 60 days. And
Mhm.
then once you have your period, how many days of bleeding do you have?
It usually was 4 days. This last one was weird. I bled like pretty usual, like pretty like medium flow. I change a tampon like every like 2-ish hours.
Okay.
Um,
And just what, for what
but
it's worth, I would consider that heavy flow.
yeah, okay.
Like normal would be 4,
Okay.
faster is heavier, less is lighter. Okay, just so
Okay.
we're on the same. That way,
Okay.
I'm not thinking something's okay when something's wrong, or vice versa.
And then so for that last period, it was like 2 days, and then the third day was like very stagnant. I was changing it like every like 5-6 hours, and then it was just like gone the fourth day.
So 2 days.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
Yeah,
like, what would you say on the average in the 3 months before that? What was it like?
like 4 days.
And about soaking every 4 hours.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
any cramping or
Nope.
clotting?
No, I used to have really bad cramping and clotting in the last probably like 8 months. It's gone away a lot. I was on birth control for like 9 years and was miserable on it. And my husband and I had gotten married in June of 2021. In December, I was like, he was like, "You're so miserable. Like, we're married. Obviously, we don't want a kid right now, but if you get pregnant, I don't even care. Like, just get off the pill."
You're like, fuck it. I will take a
Yeah.
thousand children other than dealing with you like on
Yeah.
birth control.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and I was just like, at the day before I would start the night before I would start my period, we would always know because I would be like in our bed, like in the fetal position with a heating pad, like in so much pain.
Mhm.
And I left my normal gynecologist because he was like, "That's normal." I'm like, "Yeah, no, that's not normal. I'm getting off the pill. I'm out of here." So I
Okay.
was like, yeah, I did enough research to know, like, I was like, this is not normal. I should not be in this much pain. Like, I'm getting off the pill. And then I got off the pill in December. My period kind of took a little while to come back, and then it was really stagnant. I was under a lot of stress. My dad passed away in February.
Mhm.
So I was dealing with, I'm the only sibling here. My sister lives in Arizona. So I had to deal with this all by myself. His
Mm.
fiance is an absolute crazy person. So dealing with her, dealing with like all of his estate, he didn't have a will. It was a disaster. And then my husband, I had to move back down here. We were living in Salem, and it's like an hour and a half away from my dad's house. And my grandma was living here. Her health wasn't good when my dad died. So I moved down here so she could stay here. My husband was still working up in Portland for like a year.
Mm.
So, yeah. My life has been kind of wild, but it calmed down the beginning of this year. My husband moved back and everything kind of fell back into normal rhythm.
Okay. Okay, good. This is good. I mean, there have been some screwed up things, right, that were
Yeah.
certainly affecting your fertility.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you're on birth control for 9 years and you felt really bad on it, it's
Mhm.
probably doing some things that were not that useful, but that can all be
Mhm.
untangled, so I wouldn't be concerned about that. Your period is starting to normalize, even though it's not as regular as like, how much inositol are you taking?
I use the pure inositol. I've been taking I think it's 3,000 milligrams.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
And you're taking the NAC and omega.
Yes.
Okay, that will help a lot. And your diet is already like pretty low carb, lots of
Yeah.
fruits and vegetables. Do you think you're getting enough fiber, like around 30 grams of fiber?
I did buy the conceivable right fiber, so when I feel like I'm not, I am doing some of
Okay.
that.
So what I would suggest is you'll get your menu plans, and
Mhm.
then so you'll get 4 weeks of menu plans that are sort of better because they're a little bit more educational and foundational. You can kind of get the gist. But the goal here is to make eating easy. You guys are already doing a good job. But what I
Mhm.
do want to do, especially because PCOS is a metabolic disorder, so as you get your menus, you'll see congee is the breakfast. People
Okay.
never want to eat this because they're like, it's carbs. I don't want to start with carbs. They say you should start with 30 grams of protein. In theory, that's all true, but in 25 years, this for breakfast fixes insulin resistance.
Okay.
It just does. It just fixes digestion, gas, bloating, fatigue, all that. Just if you, it's like a miracle food.
Okay.
And it's not a miracle food because it's only a miracle food if you have digestive weakness, right?
Okay.
And if you have PCOS, you do because it means that you can't regulate, digestion and metabolism of glucose. Um, so you want to make sure to follow the instructions exactly. Dried apricots, a whole cinnamon stick, not like a slash, we're using cinnamon therapeutically here. So a whole cinnamon stick, 4 or 5 slices of ginger, like organic. I use
Mhm.
brown basmati, 8 cups of water, some salt. Overnight, don't pressure cook it. It doesn't turn out the same. There's no shortcut to this.
Okay.
Overnight, then in the morning, take the ginger, the cinnamon out, and then puree the shit out of it. So
Okay.
basically, you're taking a high fiber, hard to digest, medium protein, high nutrition food and breaking it down overnight. You're basically pre digesting it. And then in a crock pot, right? So it's closed. And then you're doing the first step of digestion, which is mastication, chewing. So instead of having to, because people don't chew, you should choose like 30 chews per bite. Nobody does that. So especially for things with fiber, to make it
Okay.
easier to digest, the more you can break it down. That's why, like, I can't really digest a steak, but I can digest ground beef,
Mhm.
right? It's just one step. I just don't have
Yeah.
very robust, much hydrochloric acid. So, so then you're pureeing it until it's a full cream, like rice cream, and then that'll make enough for both you and your husband for many days.
Okay.
And then you can add either, like, you can do it savory where you just eat it with like salt and like a tablespoon of grass-fed butter and some salt. In the South, we would call that like grits.
Okay. Yeah.
Most people, like, if they're not in the South, they're like, "What's a grit?" I'm like, "I don't know, it's too complicated." Or you can add, I like mine sweet, so I just put again, the fat slows down the delivery of glucose to the pancreas. So for you, anytime you are having carbs, like even ice cream is a good choice for you
Mhm.
because it is sugar, but it's paired with a lot of fat. So it's
Mhm.
actually a better sweet than most, except for the cold.
Okay.
Um, and so, yeah, and then just eat however much you're hungry for. And then in 1 hour, we need to make more blood, right? So in one
Mhm.
hour, you'll start feeling a little bit hungry. Have a cup of grass fed bone broth. You don't need to
Okay.
make it. Most people who are making it are easier to make it, like they're making it better than you can because the volume of bones they have.
Mhm.
So in Austin, we have an all grass fed charcuterie. So it's like all a meat place. It's not barbecue, but it's like a meat place and everything is
Yeah.
grass fed. and their bone broth, like I was roasting the bones, pressure cooking the bones. I was doing like so much shit to this. And mine, when then one day I was traveling and I came home and I like only had a week. I'm like, I don't have time to do my shit. I'm gonna just get some from Dai Dui. That's the place. And that shit was like a Guinness stout. And mine, after all of that, was like a Corona Light. Like
Yeah.
there was such a difference. And I said, "How do you get it this?" It was so thick and delicious, like but collagenous, you know.
Hmm.
And she said, "We have so many bones." She goes, "You're probably using this much bones." She goes, "We literally have a stock pot that's like bigger than I can get my arms around. We fill it halfway with bones, the rest with water and vegetable scraps."
Yeah.
And cook it for 2 days. I'm like, that's why yours is better. So
Yeah.
that's a long answer for that. But just people like, oh, I don't want to get a pre-made one, you know.
Yeah.
Epic is good. There's a few different ones.
Yeah.
Beef, biggest animal is better.
Hmm.
If you're not that into it, I put like when I make mine a big squeeze of lemon or lime and then some like Tabasco or Cholula or some kind, little bit of sour hot sauce. Then
Hmm.
it's delicious. Then go ahead and eat the rest. You don't have to follow the menu plans exactly, but they are guidelines for each. So all of yours are like low glycemic. I don't know if that first one can codes for Hashimoto's, but so if there's any, I don't think there's any wheat in yours. I can't
Okay.
remember now. But if there is, just obviously sub that out for whatever is appropriate.
Okay.
But look at what you want to start doing is using them to learn the trends. And then you have access to the menu planner. So if you have any after those are done, it's the same process. It's just not quite as pretty. But
Hmm.
you'll be able to say, I'm on week 3, I'm on week 4, especially for you, because if you get to like say you get to cycle day 30, keep saying week 4,
Okay.
because we want to trigger all the warming, all the generative. And you're not eating much raw food.
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. Just trying to get those temperatures up. What's your energy like on a 1 to 10 without any caffeine or energy exercise?
It's been pretty good lately. It's been probably like 7.
Okay, okay, good. And what about your sleep? You fall asleep, stay asleep okay, wake up rested?
The last month, I have noticed that I've had a little bit more of a hard time falling asleep. I used to be able to fall asleep really easy, and
Mm.
lately it's been kind of hard.
And do you associate that with anything?
Mm-mm. Like nothing's changed. So it's just weird that all of a sudden I have a hard time. I have been focusing on eating a lot more like warm foods. I have like a peppermint tea that I've been trying to do like half an hour before bed, and I feel like the last week it's helped me like fall asleep a little bit quicker.
So peppermint's cold, you know.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, so why peppermint might help you to fall asleep is because sometimes if you can get your temperature to drop, that will
Okay.
make you drowsy. That's why a hot bath, it's actually not the hot bath, it's the temperature drop after the hot bath that makes the
Yeah.
difference.
Okay.
So, I mean, 1 cup of peppermint tea isn't gonna, like, hurt your temperatures probably, but just given that your period hasn't come,
Yeah.
you might just use something like CBD or even chamomile. Sometimes chamomile, they'll put mint and stuff in that. Also, lemon balm, passion flower, any of those will do the same thing, but without cooling your body off.
Okay.
Um, just because since we're taking that basal temperature and your
Hmm.
temperatures are already really low and you still haven't had a period, which means there's probably not much progesterone going on,
Yeah.
might be useful to like. I'd rather see you, especially during the day, like making some chai,
Okay.
like make a real chai. You know what I mean? Just make a
Mm.
big batch of it for the winter for yourself with
Okay.
like dried ginger and black peppercorns and drink it strong.
Okay.
I like mine with like milk and honey, but you can do yours any way that you want.
Yeah.
But all of those things are all like warming. And if you don't want to make a chai, what you could do is, you could just like make fresh ginger tea during the day. Just
Okay.
4 or 5 slices of ginger, boil it for a few minutes, and then just make a bunch and then rewarm it in the microwave. So you don't have to do that every single time. You can add a little honey to it if you want to.
Okay.
I mean, in Oregon, you guys have a lot of like similar to Austin, like some raw honey would be really good.
Yeah. Yep. We have one like right up the street from us.
Perfect. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
expensive, but it is. The other
Yeah.
thing is like I get mine from a farmer.
Hmm.
They don't say that it's raw. It just is because it just came like, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
they're not selling it for $30 because it's like raw honey. It's just like honey out of somebody's bees that I know is raw because nobody did anything to it.
Yeah. Yeah. We can literally we see where the bees are too. We can like walk up our street and like the beehive, all the things are all over there. It's cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool. I kind of would like to be a beekeeper, but I'm too scared because
Oh yeah.
I hate getting stung by bees. But I
Yeah.
like
My
the
husband's
idea that
allergic,
they're starting
so
to. Huh?
my husband's allergic,
Oh,
so
shit. Yeah. Okay. That would be bad.
yeah.
Um, this is interesting.
But yeah, we do like I do as much. We have my father-in-law has a whole bunch of cows, so we get like all of our meat from
Mm,
him. I have a whole bunch of friends that have chickens, so we get our eggs all from them.
girl.
So I try to do like my husband gets so annoyed at me, but we do like all organic and it's fresh stuff. We did a garden this year, so we did like had fresh corn and zucchini and cucumbers and all kinds of stuff from that. So
That's amazing. Okay, well, you're doing everything right. How many hours of sleep are you getting per night?
um when I'm falling asleep, good. I'm getting like 8.5.
Oh, great. The
Yeah.
other thing that I was thinking is, even before, like, what do you guys do the last hour before you go to bed?
I kind of just try to unwind and relax. I have been reading lately to try to avoid phone time sometimes when I have been at work all day. I'm like, oh, I just want to sit and like kind of scroll, and then I catch myself scrolling and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do like a devotional or I'll do like something else to avoid my phone.
It's really hard. Like, I really want to crack this problem because I feel the same way. Like, at the end of the day, I don't even want to work. I
Yeah.
don't want to read, and I love reading, but it's just
Yeah.
like by 9 o'clock, I'm like, I just literally want to just watch the British baking show or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really hard. But if you are reading in your report, there's a link for the conceivable sleep sounds.
Okay.
Put those on. It's ideal if you wear headphones, but if you're hanging out with your husband, I'd rather you have like the just sitting by each other reading and talking and things like that. You can
Okay.
put them on just on your phone or whatever. And it should just be in the background. It doesn't have to be loud. They're fucking sedating.
Okay.
So they basically take two frequencies. It said this in the thing, but it takes two frequencies, and basically your ears hear one frequency on one side in stereo and one in the other. That's why headphones work better. And then what it produces is 4 hertz on that one, the sleep one, and that vibration is very low. And it just starts to mimic the vibration of when you're in theta sleep, and
Hmm.
so your brain just like starts ratcheting down, and you'll notice it. I mean, I made those with my son because he's really into music, and I had been listening to a lot of different kinds of like binaural beat combinations, and I had listened to one for like 4 hours just in the background just to see like did I feel relaxed, and then went to get my hair cut, and he was cutting my hair, and I like fell asleep in the chair. He's like, "Are you okay? Do you have cancer? Like, what's wrong with you? That I've known you for like 30 years." I'm like, "No, I was listening to these binaural beats and they fucked me up, man. I'm so tired." So it does work.
Okay.
So
Cool.
you can experiment, see if that helps. Also, you maybe drink your like passion flower tea and put the binaural beats on. Um, and did you have a chance to check your heart rate variability?
Oh gosh, it's probably on my, or I mean, my Oura ring would probably track that. I think
Mm-hmm.
I should have checked it this morning.
So let me just tell you what to look for. Ideally,
Okay.
you want it around 80.
Okay.
Now, there's a lot of different research on it. It's kind of new technology, but what I've seen is when people are above 80, they're incredibly robust. Because
Okay.
on the outside, you're not even like some people come and they're like, I'm very healthy. I do CrossFit 8 times a day and I only eat protein bars
Oh,
and I'm
jeez.
105 pounds, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know society has told you that that is very healthy, but that is not at all healthy
Yeah.
because you don't have a period.
Yeah.
And but you actually do look really good apart from the dysregulation of
Hmm.
ovulation, and like when the period comes, sometimes it's better, sometimes it's like, scanty like the
Hmm.
last one. I think it's probably better than it is. So my wonder is because I'm like, well, what could be causing now part of this is probably long-term gluten consumption
Yeah.
when you didn't know that you had a sensitivity to it and your body is just healing from it. That's
Yeah.
really what my guess is that
Okay.
probably nothing is wrong, that you will probably completely bounce back from this. I would give it another 3 months. Oh, I forgot to ask you, what about PMS before your period? Breast tenderness,
I
bloating, fatigue?
I had some bloating with when I ate gluten, and that was like the only. I mean, but I don't have any breast tenderness or like really any. My husband has said the last few months I've actually been pretty calm when my period comes. I used to kind of get a little irritable, but I feel like I've been a little bit more relaxed.
Okay. How long you guys been trying?
We started trying in March and I got pregnant like right away.
And then
Which
had
we weren't even, we kind of like joked and we're like, okay, haha, we're gonna like start trying this month. He hadn't like fully moved back yet, but we were like, oh, okay, we'll just like try. And we were in Belize and did a
please.
whole bunch of stuff. We were like, went horseback riding, did all that stuff. I had no idea I was pregnant, but I was super bloated. And my mom was actually the reason I took a test because she's just like super blunt. She's like, honey, is there something you need to tell me? Because in this photo, you look like 3 months pregnant. I was like, thanks, mom. But I like got up the next day and I was supposed to start my period when we were there, but because sometimes it's irregular, I just didn't even think about it. And I looked at my app and it was like, your period is 12 days late. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just take it. I brought a test with me because I'm just like that. If we go on a trip and I know I'm supposed to start my period, I bring a pregnancy test and tampons. So, and that thing like lit up. I had a digital and it said pregnant. I'm not kidding, in like 30 seconds.
Their HCG was really high.
Yeah. And then we got home and like 4 days later I miscarried.
So I know that like it totally sucks to have a miscarriage. A miscarriage is still better than not
Yeah.
getting pregnant though for your fertility potential. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And especially like one try. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I would say that I am about 5% worried about you. Like most
Okay.
time, I'm like 80% worried about people.
Okay.
Right? You're already doing everything right. I would give it
Okay.
like a few more months using the supplements,
Okay.
continue to just like, let's just try to really think about blood sugar a lot.
Okay.
Other things that do make a difference is like after you eat, because like if like when you eat lunch and dinner, I know it's cold there. Like if you can even take a 10-minute walk
Okay.
after you eat, it is incredibly effective for stabilizing blood sugar and
Okay.
reducing insulin. Incredibly. So, um, um, start just 1 or 2 days, track how much fiber you're getting. Just write
Okay.
down everything you ate and just look them up and just get a sense. Fiber is very important for you.
Okay.
So, I like beans for fiber
Okay.
because, like beans you'll do this too because I can tell that's how you are, but like
Mm-hmm.
if you make your own beans, they should not bother you. The steps are from beans are like, buy clean beans, which you would do, then pour boiling water over them the night before and let them sit on the counter with like a splash of vinegar in there.
Okay.
So beans are meant to not be digestible, right? They're meant to be eaten
Mm-hmm.
by a deer and pooped out somewhere else and then grow.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why they give people so much digestive upset. But if you soak them in a little boiling water and make sure there's enough water, like put it there and then check it before you go to bed, because a lot of times it'll drink up all the liquid. And
Okay.
the vinegar, it dissolves that outer casing that makes them less digestible. And then pressure cook them or, slow cook them or whatever.
Okay.
But I've been doing for lunch, and you can do this for dinner or you can just have it for a snack, but I've been making lentil cakes.
Okay.
And so just I take little red lentils, even though you don't have to do that for lentils. But again, I'm all about like how to get more nutrients in for me and for y'all. So I do the same thing. I soak them overnight. Then I take a cup of red lentils, rinse them in 1 cup of water, and then whatever veggies I have, like a piece of onion, some jalapeno, nothing, salt, pepper, cumin, whatever. And then I put it into the Vitamix or the blender and puree it. You don't even have to cook it because you've already mostly it kind of cooks in the soaking overnight. Puree
Mm-hmm.
it until it's like a pancake batter.
Okay.
It does need a lot of salt because it's a bean. And then put some grass-fed butter in a pan and fry it like a griddle cake.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be deep fried, like you would a pancake, you know what I
Okay.
mean? Um, and then put fried eggs and avocado on top of it.
Ooh, yum.
It's like 40 grams of protein, 20 grams of fiber. Like it's a rock. Like when you're not getting what you need, that is the meal to have for dinner that takes 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Um, and I just like, I'll even make them in advance and keep them in the freezer so I can like pop them out, and they're better when you make them fresh. But that way, if I come home and, it's like 9 o'clock, I'm like, fuck, I'm just too tired.
Yes.
Either going to be that toast or I can pop that in and like put a fried egg on top of it.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing I saw on TikTok yesterday or in Instagram, which I'm going to make today, is she took a cup. This is not fiber, but she took a cup of cottage cheese and 2 eggs and spinach, and
Okay.
then put it in the blender, and then salt and pepper. I would add garlic to it, and then she made wraps with that,
Ooh.
and then she filled it with egg salad.
Ooh.
Or you could do anything. You could make, lunch meat or whatever, but I
Yeah.
was like, yum.
Yeah.
And they looked so good. I cook a lot and I want to make TikToks that are around food, but mine are so ugly and it's beautiful food. I'm like, that is so ugly.
Yeah.
I need a food TikTok tutorial.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to heart rate variability. Sorry, I'm jumping around.
No, you're fine.
That's the piece that I want to see. Everything else, I think you just some dietary changes.
Okay.
Like let's continue to do all this warming, ginger, cumin. If
Okay.
you like Indian food, eat the shit out of Indian food.
Okay.
Um,
I found TikTok. My TikTok has been covered in this bone broth hot chocolate, so I'm gonna try to make that tonight. I know. We'll see. Everyone says it's really good. It gets like dilute. I don't know. We'll see.
okay, email me and tell me what
Okay.
you think because that
Okay.
sounds fucking disgusting. I mean, what you could do is buy some collagen. That's what I do. I make like a collagen hot chocolate.
Okay.
So just water, raw cacao, scoop of collagen, and then I just got some new monk fruit sweetener that has no aftertaste.
Ooh.
Like I've tried a bunch. Do you want to see which one it is? Do you care?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. What collagen are you using?
I'm using
Yeah.
the one from Designs for Health.
Okay. I
I'm
see
sam-
so many all over the place, and I'm like, I don't even know what's the best one.
well, I know that everything at Designs for Health, like I used to use them when I was in my clinic, they are extremely like neurotic about their products.
Okay.
They're really expensive though. That's the only really, really expensive. And a lot of their food things don't taste good, but this is grass-fed collagen with MCT oil.
Okay.
We may actually have that product in the store, but I haven't decided. It's just so expensive. Like when people are like, I can go on Amazon and get collagen for $19. I'm like, well, I
It's
think
not good collagen.
mine is like $29 cost, so I can't. I'm just taking with you to show you what this. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. With me going so crazy on wanting to get like grass fed stuff, my
Yeah,
husband's like, oh, this is actually really good. It's making me feel like way better than all the other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I told you.
because the shit has nutrition in it.
Yeah.
I know my daughter's been real sick and with some kind of autoimmune condition, and I want to like. She lives in a dorm now. She goes to college, and I was like, you're never gonna get better. Okay, this is the one
Yeah.
I just got.
Okay, cool.
And this literally, like, usually I can't put any sweetener in a drink, like a hot cocoa or something. It just, to me, it tastes too fakey,
Yeah.
even like with protein powders and things like that. If it has stevia in it, I'm like,
Yeah.
literally, I put this in the cocoa and I could not taste it. It just tasted
That's
sweet.
awesome.
Um, One other protein hack, I'm just sharing with you my secrets. Again, I got this off TikTok, but it is so good. A cup of grass-fed yogurt,
Ooh, okay.
um, like just ballpark it, but like 2 tablespoons of whatever vanilla protein powder that you're using.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add a scoop of collagen to it also. And then like 3 whopping spoons of peanut butter powder
Okay.
and then raw cacao.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
you mix it and the yogurt, it literally becomes like fudge.
Yeah.
Like it gets thick as shit. I mean, depends on, I keep adding stuff to try and make it thicker because the first time I had it, it was really thick. I don't need anything sweet in it, but my kids like it a little bit sweet, so I'll add a little bit of that sweetener to it.
Yeah.
But 3 tablespoons, 20 grams of protein.
Oh, that's awesome. Yum.
So like sometime I'm just like, if you're really trying to get, stable, I'm telling you all this because stabilizing blood sugar is like so important.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting enough protein, it just makes it really hard. And just in winter, I'm not that hungry. So
Yeah.
it's really, I'm like, I don't know. And really, I don't want anything cold. So,
Yeah.
um, so those are some of my hacks to try to help that. But I keep going back to heart rate variability and then distracting myself with telling you something interesting else. So that's the other thing that I'm just wondering about because sometimes people look healthy on the like
Mm-hmm.
everything they're doing and even their clinical presentation looks good.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm not that stressed. And then we see heart rate variability is like 20.
Yeah.
And then that just means that what we need to do is we just need to pop back on the phone for like 15 minutes. And if that, like, look at it for like, well, you can probably, if you have your Aura ring, get an
Yeah.
average. But
Okay.
but if it's low, then what we want to do is we need to be incorporating like stress mitigating strategies throughout the day, not like
Okay.
waiting till the end of the day, not waiting to the weekend to get a massage, like
Yeah.
3 or 4 times a week doing per day doing the 4-7-8 breathing.
Okay.
What you want to do is, because what can happen is two things. The more you had a really stressful like last few years,
Yeah.
the more stress that they're under, the vagus nerve, which controls flight or fright, it's like the on and off switch, flight or fright, rest and relax.
Okay.
The more that we're stuck in flight or fright because of external situations like what you were in,
Yeah.
it gets weak and it
Okay.
gets harder and harder to snap back. And that is correlated with heart rate variability.
Okay.
And so what you'll see is that when heart rate variability is high, it is a sign of like optimal resilience. Now,
Okay.
if I didn't know you had like PCOS or any other problems, I'd be like, your resilience is probably going to be very high. You don't have a stressful job, you have a good marriage, blah, 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 you know.
Mhm.
But just that there are some clinical things that are like not fitting in, I
Yeah.
suspect that this might be a problem. Um, and so, two things we need to do: 4-7-8 breathing throughout the day, and just watch that video again in your report because it gives you specific instructions on what I want you to do.
Okay.
And then also, um, like doing things to tone the vagus nerve. And there are so many easy things to do. I'm going to give you 3 to do. One is humming.
Okay.
Just so easy. The louder, the better, because you'll see you want the thing that vibrates. Because
Mhm.
anything that's vibrating is actually, it's like basically exercises for toning the vagus nerve. Humming, singing. So I always recommend like making a playlist of your favorite songs.
I do
And
sing in the car.
huh?
I do sing in the car when I'm by myself.
Okay, good. I want you to really sing out, like
Okay.
really, like like open your mouth and relax your jaw. This is what tones
Okay.
the vagus, not just kind of like. And then she went over there and she was really good. Like that's how I sing in the car. I mean,
Okay.
I want like rock anthem, like
Okay.
"We Will Rock You" kind of
Okay.
song. You know what I mean? Where you're like, "We will, we." Plus,
Yes.
it really opens your chest up. Beat it, and then laughing.
Yeah.
Laughing is the best, and it will make you feel like a crazy person. And of course you can like watch comedy at night, that's a good thing to do because there's so much good comedy.
Mhm.
But also just when you're driving, I suggest doing this when you're driving or home alone, because you'll just feel too self-conscious, because I even feel self-conscious because I'm about to do it for you and it just feels so crazy. My dog looks at me like, you need to go to a mental hospital. But literally just pretend that you've been hired in like a comedy show or like a sitcom to be the person who laughs, like the laugh
Yeah.
track. And just like you'll be driving and you'll be like, whoa. I mean, just like the most ridiculous, hardest belly laughing that you can do for a few minutes. It's literally kind of miraculous.
Okay.
And what I would maybe do is like give yourself a science experiment and take like 1 week of only humming. See what your baseline H, and then or start and just do 4-7-8 breathing. See what happens. Then add humming for a week and see what happens there. And then try singing for a week and see if anything happens there. And also, really, just before you do it, just do a little check in for yourself. Just like while you're driving, it's so easy. Just like just a little check and be like, how do I feel in my body right now?
Mhm.
Where does it feel tight? Where do I feel like numb, or not like actually numb, but like where energy is not?
Yeah.
Do I feel cold anywhere? I always feel stuck right here, why laughing is good for me. And then afterwards, pay attention which things actually shift it. You know what I mean? I think humming is the weakest, but it's so ticklish for me to hum. Oh, and umming too. Like that's the one I really can't do. That's way too ticklish.
Okay.
But just play around with all of those, and I think that probably you'll be fine. And just you can pop into the live. I'm there almost every single night, anytime, and say like, "Hey, I'm doing the umming," and just give me actually have like a almost photogenic memory, graphic genic for like case history.
Okay.
So if you prompt me with almost anything, not your name, that won't do it for me. Like any
Okay.
clinical information, like a little tiny bit, I will remember.
Okay.
Like I won't remember your face. Like if I'll see you with them all, you're like, remember me? I'm like, no. And I'm like, 27-day period every 6 months. Yes, I definitely know you. It's very weird. So So anyways, pop in anytime, ask questions. You can always schedule another consultation. I don't think you're going to need me, but I'm here for you if you need it.
Okay.
Again, you can do the 6 months of consulting. I don't think you need it. I think you're going to
Okay.
be totally fine. If you're not in 3 months, if you're like stuck and you're just like still having irregular periods and all of that, we should probably have another call. Again, I do not think that's going to happen. If for
Okay.
some reason your period is regular and you try for 4 months and you're not pregnant, have your husband get a semen analysis.
Okay. He did already.
Oh, good. And it was normal?
Yep. Yeah.
Perfect. No lows?
Nope.
Okay. I wouldn't expect that with all the good food and everything.
Yeah,
Okay,
and he's
good.
super healthy. He works out all the time, and he's a lineman, so he's climbing the poles all day, and so
Okay, perfect.
yeah.
Okay, I talked almost this whole time. What questions? What else do you want to cover? How else can I be helpful?
I think that was it. Yeah, it's just kind of nice to have someone that has like a bird's eye view on.
I didn't hear what you said. What all I heard and then you broke up was it's nice to have a bird's eye view.
Yep. Yeah. So
Okay, great. Well, if you feel inspired, the one thing I always ask at the end of this is if you would hop over to Conceivable and just write a short, like 2 sentence review.
yeah,
It really helps. Like people do not believe that it's actually this easy to like understand and fix your fertility. So it is only by y'all sharing your stories that like we
of
can.
course.
Too many people. I mean, just so many people like I don't know. I'm not getting pregnant. Like oh, I don't have a period.
Yeah.
Literally, like we just have a lot of educational work to do, but we have to kind of
Yeah.
build some credibility around it. So reach out to me anytime, and
Okay.
and I mostly reach out and let me know when you're pregnant because I'm guessing it
Yeah.
will be in the next few months.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
No, that's for suckers. You don't need to cross. Luck is for suckers. You're doing the work, right? If
Yeah.
you were like, overweight and won't stop eating at McDonald's and no period, and you're like, I'm gonna do an IUI, and I'll be like, fingers crossed, because you need luck for that. It's not gonna happen. You don't need luck.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't need luck.
Okay.
You're good. Okay. Have a
Okay.
great day, babe.
So
Nice to
thank you.
meet
You too. Okay. Thanks. Bye.